Okay, I'm hearing somebody say, no, I need these bugs as part of the ecosystem. And then somebody is saying, child, sit down, or something like, wash your butt, or something like this. Go take a shower. But not even go take a shower, but like somebody is spraying his pesticides and getting rid of their demons. And they don't want to let go of their demons. So I'm just going to do a little reading on this energies because it's very interesting. I feel like this is coming from a farmer or something. Like she or he is spraying their fields with pesticides and they're just like, no, this is part of the ecosystem. I need these bugs. But yeah, you have a bigger purpose. Whoever this, you have a bigger purpose than whatever you, whatever your DNA is telling you. You're being, breeded right now. You're being bred. Like, how can I say this? Like, yeah, like you're being trained to do more than just blow in the wind, is what I'm getting. You're going to feed people. You're going to feed a flock of people who are going to feed God's people. And your energy is more valuable than just standing around and blowing in the wind. Okay. Somebody is really upset about this. They feel like their bugs make them who they are, or their demons make them who they are. And that, like an artist being edited, they're really upset about this, what's happening. I'm also hearing something like what is it? Like gentrification or something. Like somebody's coming in and changing things and you don't like the way things are changing, but who cannot admit that things are looking good? The only difference is you are being separated from, like, the fact of the matter, I'm talking to somebody who is being used. All right. And you're not going to benefit from whatever it is you're being used for. So that's the energy here. I feel like I'm talking to somebody who was bred for this, almost like someone who is being trained to be a wife. And now you have to give up so much of yourself and do so much that you don't immediately feel like you can benefit from. I feel like this is where your thoughts are. I'm just seeing a lot of sadness, almost like I've done so much and what do I really have to show for it? But it's like your head is going to be bent down no matter what. That's just kind of where the world is going. Like people are learning to put their heads down, even with the use of cell phones. And maybe over time, this is just going to be how humans look. And then until Christ returns and he's the only one lifting his head up to the heavens, looking at his Father. And people are like, whoa, buddy, where's your phone? Why aren't you streaming? That's what I'm getting from this. And whoever this is, okay, something is happening here. Like somebody cannot escape what's happening. That they're never going to look at these showers of blessings coming down on them, these pesticides, as being something beneficial to them, because I feel like they already have their own defense mechanism against whatever it is that people are afraid of. For whatever reason, they're being chastised or made to do things differently. I feel like they already know how to survive on their own. Like they specifically don't need pesticides. It's the people who use you. They need you to get rid of these peculiarities, things that make you different. Something about skipping breakfast or breaking a fast. Somebody is standing on a scale. I feel like this has to do with a pageant of sorts. Like somebody is asking you to lose weight and somebody doesn't want to. Somebody could be an athlete. Yeah, it could be an athlete I'm talking to, maybe a child athlete. And your energy is being used to lift the nation's spirit or something like that. And this is going to pay off in the long run, because whatever that you're being used for, you don't realize it. But being an athlete, I mean, there are some athletes who do get sick, and especially I'm not going to get all into it, but there's controversies around that, like how healthy are these sports, etc. But for a lot of athletes, a majority of the athletes, people who exercise, they start to build muscle memory. And this may be the case with whoever this is, that feels like they're being traumatized right now by some sort of regimen. You're building up a muscle, a memory of a muscle that's memorizing your way of life. So when you get older, you won't be able to depart from it. Or even if this is someone who is, going through a training process or a boot camp, even in a spiritual sense, when you are older, you will not depart from it. When your spirit ages, it's going to learn how to be happy, because you were forced to be happy, because your happiness made other people happy. Again, there are situations where people just feel depressed and they do awful things because of it. But I feel like whoever I'm talking about right now is gonna learn that happiness is the standard, that joy is the standard, that the health is the standard. And so even when you get let loose back into the wild and you're able to have a cheat day every day, you may gain 300 or something pounds. I feel like I'm talking to somebody who can put on a lot of weight because they have such an insatiable hunger or insatiable craving or whatever it is. You're going to realize that this is just it, and you're going to somehow turn back around and get back on track. But for most people, if they started off eating crazy, they're never going to, unfortunately, they never get better. But you're being used. God is using you to lead people out of this darkness that you're going to be in for such a short period of time, but it's going to be so devastating for you because of your standards. And then the people who are born in this filth are going to see just how you dig your way out, and you're going to lead them. You're going to lead them out. Whether you realize it or not, you're leading them out of darkness. Okay? Just you being who you are. And who you are is who you didn't want to be as a child. But, children don't oftentimes get to choose what they want to be. Otherwise, they turn into wild animals. It's just natural. But when you're raised in some sort of a structure and you're taught how to do something, whether you like it or not, this is who you are. You are that athlete. And anything else? Because there's a lot of Page of Wands, Two of Wands, Ten of Wands, Nine of Wands. And then you have Ten of Pentacles. And I feel like this Ten of Pentacles is who you are. I feel like these wands is what you were trained to be. You can almost look at these wands like something you might have been beat over the head with. You may even still carry the scars. Okay, and this may be too deep for some people if you're not ready for it. Your scars are your stars, almost like. But that's not really funny. I feel like some people were dizzy. Like, oh my stars, I'm hearing. Draw near to God and he will draw near to you. Yeah, some people might have been knocked unconscious, being trained. And this isn't for everybody. You're a soldier. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders us and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. And this is the image that's coming to mind through this entire reading as I'm talking to a track star. This person who has the legs of a gazelle. And even if you were to put on weight, you would still have that muscle memory. You would still be muscular. You still kind of be in shape. And you could go back on the track or get back on a treadmill for like a week straight, and everybody will see a tremendous difference in your physique. Like, you cannot fall off. Blessed is the man who perseveres under trial, because when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love him. So whoever I'm talking to, I feel like I'm talking to somebody, and maybe some people that's going through different stages of this whole process. This same process of just being better, being better than people around you. Maybe some people are dealing with the fact that it comes off as being cocky, but it's just the reality. And you're trying to, you've been through some things, and this is just who you are. There's nothing you can do about it. What's going to happen here, I'm feeling, is the crowd that you're around is going to change. The people who don't get it, may lose their chance, and then someone else is going to come around who's walking in your footsteps, basically, who's also going through this transition, this training process. And then maybe some people start to catch on, like, wait a minute, maybe I need to start doing what they're doing. It's looking like a whole conveyor belt of progress. But people in this position are realizing who they are. They are a child of God. There's nothing they could do about it. They cannot be separated from God. It is what it is. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. I feel like this last part is so important, because this might be the natural the natural like where you want to go naturally, is to be afraid. But God is saying, don't be afraid. Like somebody might feel like they naturally have a sense of panic or fear, like if they really took it all in, what's happening, like almost like an angel learning to use his wings for the first time, or a bird. And it's like, it feels scary. Like if you take in what other people feel about it, like if they were in your position without all the training that you had, yeah, it's scary to jump off a cliff. Now this is a bird, okay, and the cliff being a metaphor in your life, as the Fool card is this guy standing off a cliff. But you have the training to know how to make decisions, and how to take risks, and what is not a risk in your life. Okay. So I feel like to the average person, it looks dangerous, whatever this is you're doing. But they learn how to, or these people are learning how to appreciate what you're doing for them, or just by having you in their presence. But I feel like that's not really your business. Like, it's not really your calling to teach. What you're doing is showing, just by being yourself. Page of Swords. I feel like you're still too young. You're still too early in your journey to be a trainer. Like, yeah, like I feel like I'm still talking to the athlete who is part of the game, and you don't realize how much you receive because of it. Not only just the experience of having gone through that, and literally how much better you are as a human being, physically, mentally, spiritually, and even financially. Maybe better off than most people, because you're still focused on the trauma. But once all this is said and done, even when you retire, you're still going to have more to share, more to give, because people want to know what you know. So even as a teacher, you have an advantage. And I'm feeling like somebody really needs to count their blessings. And then I'm seeing 25 here, almost like a quarter. Like somebody is looking at a quarter of a million, like 25 cents or something. And because you know what a quarter of a million can get you, or what a quarter of a million can buy you, and you've seen so much more than that in your life, that it doesn't seem like a lot. And maybe it isn't a lot, but I feel like it is a lot. Maybe it's not a lot to you, but it is a lot, and you have a lot to work with, is what I'm getting at. If ye love me, keep my commandments. So this is somebody that's being trained up, or maybe having one too many cheat days, whatever that is. It doesn't have to be exercise. It could be exercise in a different area, but it's like you're starting to fall off and you know you need to get back on track. This is your conscience, this is your confirmation. Then the whole multitude of the country of Gadarenes round about besought him to depart from them, for they were taken with great fear. And he went up into the ship and returned back again. And that's Luke 8:37. If you want to dig into that a little deeper. But I feel like the message here is that, this crowd, their natural disposition to what you're doing is to be fearful, because it's like either you're trying to tell me to do what you're doing and I'm too afraid to do that, or yeah, basically that's it. Like, that's the only reason they're afraid, is because they know that what you're doing is amazing and helpful. And the only option for them to do is change and follow you and follow what you're doing. And they're afraid of that. So maybe it's going to take a few more people to do what you're doing for them to see that, okay, this is safe. I'm hearing something about the way you eat, maybe, or just something about what you're doing, your lifestyle in some way is attractive. But the most attractive thing about it is that people can do what you're doing and they're like, I'm not ready to do what she's doing or do what he's doing. So they're attacking you, or they're like, get out of here because we don't want you to make us look bad. Idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like. Of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do these things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. That's very sobering.